Earlier today, the former governor of Vermont opened up his South Carolina field office in Florence. Connecticut Senator Joe Lieberman was also in South Carolina to talk about his Medikids health care plan.
From the nationwide tours, BMW Charity Pro-Am at the Cliffs in Travelers Rest, South Carolina, it's Golf Talk, starring Kevin Costner.
Baseball and golf, you've portrayed both in film.
Yeah.
We always talk about what's more difficult, hitting a baseball or hitting a golf ball consistently. Do you get this?
Well, you know, I've heard that they say the most difficult thing is hitting a baseball. I don't think that's true.
6 birdies and an eagle in those conditions were not what anybody was expecting, so it was my best job of hanging in there and doing the things that I do well for 18 holes, and I don't think I've ever done a better job.
I've had trouble here. I haven't played particularly well here, and it's a golf course I should play well on, simply because it's much the same as my club at Latrobe.
A solid alibi can often overcome much circumstantial evidence. But forensic evidence is another matter.
It's a scene that will be with me for a long time.
It was sexual in nature. I mean, it wasn't a murder just to murder someone.
Rick Schwartz has this extra buyer beware.
It's a beautiful 3,600 square foot home in a posh Myrtle Beach, South Carolina neighborhood.
This was our dream home. We were going to spend the rest of our lives in this home.
It was taken over by silent invaders that they say have made them very sick. An air quality test found the air inside so toxic we had to put on special suits and respirators, even goggles, just to take a peek.
His story broke our hearts. A teenager who runs away from home because he didn't want to continue his treatments for cancer. What finally happened? Steve Gendell brings us up to date.
Without chemotherapy, doctors gave Billy just 1 year to live. So 4.5 years later, what's happened to him? We came here to South Carolina to find out. Bill and Sue Best have since moved to this quiet neighborhood close to the North Carolina border.
He turned out to just be a really great guitar guy, and his class was more about contemporary music than it was about, you know, Phrygian exercises and any, you know, none of the scaling stuff or any of that crap. But he turned me on to all this really neat jazz and turned me on to some songwriters and just really kind of shaped my initial foray into the musical world.
She came out and she said, y'all come here and look. Every one of us, we ran out and we seen it. And the tornado was sitting in front of our window for like 3 minutes. And then it took off up to the 2nd Avenue Pier and sat there for like 45 seconds. It made it right onto the boulevard. And so I came downstairs and was standing in front of my hotel.
The most vulnerable people, disabled people, the elderly had already left this area. There aren't many vacationers out here right now. This is the tail end of the tourist season, and most of those people are already gone. So the only people really left here are the most hurricane savvy, people that have withstood hurricanes like this before. And to ask them to get into their cars right now and try to get out of here is simply more dangerous than having them stay.
Let me show you one trick as we leave you here, which is very cool. You can now open and close your drapes along with just about everything else in your house. I click close, you spin around. Yep, we got some privacy on the way. It is all parts of a digital future, and you can check it out at our website a little bit later.
Modernizing the Port of Charleston, which is one of every 5 jobs in the state. We've talked about offshore natural gas. We've talked about building I-73, which is vital to part of the state.
ABC 15's Trey Paul is live in Columbia tonight, where a Senate subcommittee met this afternoon to discuss that. Trey?
Well, it was a good meeting. You know, every 10 years, the Grand Strand gets money for renourishment, 65% federal. The rest is handed by the state and local governments. And we're covered this year. That's the good news. But the concern is the years to come.
Well, Allison and Tim, we've seen a lot of damage in about a 5-mile stretch of Adrian Highway. Right now, we're kind of at the center of it all. We've been all over here today, and right now behind me, we're at a Christmas tree farm right now. This is Booth's Christmas tree farm, and this is a barn nearby. You can see here on the left side of the barn, it's completely toppled, and I want to come take you inside really fast here. We don't want to get too close, though, because we did just hear this start to crumble even more. You can still see clothes hanging in there and a boat.
Since 1991, we've treated almost 8,000 birds in our hospital.
Stephen Schabel is the education director. Protecting these magnificent creatures is a mission everyone should support.
The changes that are happening with them ultimately can be a reflection of how well we're doing in our environment and a reflection of what things might be in store for us.
In Allendale, Matt Barber, ABC15 News.
We lost everything. Furniture's floating upside down. Yes, it's heartbroken. It's 4 foot deep right here on the road.
This is where Fork Wretch gets its name, where the Lumber River meets the Little Petey River. The town of Nichols is just about 1 mile to 2 miles in between both rivers. And about 10 to 15 miles down the other side is Gallivant's Ferry.
This is the only home I've ever had. I'm going to be here to rebuild it. We're going to have to rebuild the whole community.
Firefighters are trying to figure out how a model home caught fire today. Crews responded to the house fire in the Glenmore development off of Highway 90. Officials say it is a total loss. Crews working to put out that fire had to run across the street when they realized flying embers caught another home on fire. Officials say someone was about to close on that second home. One side of it did burn.
I'm just trying to be as strong as I can.
It was a heart-wrenching morning at the Waka Wachi Marina, especially for his family members.
I know Jacob. I know where he is. He's in heaven.
Jacob Causey, pictured here with his mother, was 17 years old. His life cut short after his boat crashed into a channel marker. The teenager who was with him survived. DNR divers found Jacob's body this morning.
It's never easy, and the younger they are, obviously, the harder it makes it.
During an overwhelming tragedy filled with tears, embraces, and reminiscing. Remembering the good days on this somber one.
My mother, several years ago, suffered from a heart attack, which she didn't know she was having a heart attack, and ended up with triple bypass.
Melissa Jordan tells me she's relieved that the judge revoked Gibbs' bond. Gibbs is charged in the murder and kidnapping of her missing teenage son, Zachary Malinowski. While out on bond for the murder charges against Malinowski, Gibbs was arrested and accused of killing again. He's also charged with the kidnapping and murder of 22-year-old Laquan Johnson. The defense argued there was not enough evidence in either murder cases. The judge sided with the prosecutor, and Malinowski's mom says she's thankful for that.
Now, this is our video from our news gathering drone, Sky 15. It's video showing where FBI investigators are working. We're told it's private property, and the FBI public information officer wouldn't say who owns it. You can see some law enforcement, unmarked police cars, and an excavator.